My first super being was an accident, literally and figuratively. I was walking from the courthouse to the parking garage. Jury duty was over. I'd been released early, right after the lunch break, so I was free to go back to work and try to catch up on my missed half a day. The parking garage was across the street, so I had to wait for the light. As I stood there, hoping I wouldn't sunburn, I witnessed a small fender bender. One slow-moving car rear-ended another right in front of the courthouse about 50 feet away from me. The drivers got out, man from the front car, woman from the rear, and he started yelling at her immediately. At first, I figured he was raging because he'd been hit, and the start of summer in Arizona always makes everyone here a little crazy, but I could hear him, and it dawned on me that this was his wife. She was apologizing, but he wasn't having any of it, so she got mad too. Their fight escalated into shouting in a matter of moments. This was a full-on domestic dispute, the kind the cops rightly want nothing to do with. The light changed, and I wondered if I should just head across the street to avoid getting involved with these two, when it happened. The man's rage went supernova, and all of a sudden, he sprouted wings out of his back. I'm not talking little wings either. They were huge, easily 6.5 feet high, and I guessed the span is double. They had feathers, but they were odd-looking, which I know you'd figure would be a given in the first place. But they didn't look like bird feathers. They gleamed, and not with blood. There was a viscous substance on them, and as I watched, the man turned toward his horrified, screaming wife and shot blades out of the feathers that lined the wings' edges. She was cut to ribbons in a matter of seconds, and he turned toward the courthouse and let more blades fly. The main Pueblo Caliente courthouse, a 9-story building with mostly glass walls, was built a few years ago and was really very modern and attractive, doing its best to pretend the city hadn't once been a pioneer cowtown. I flinched as the projectiles hit, glass shattered and flew everywhere. The courthouse went from sleek to rubble in a matter of moments. I could hear screams, the people coming out of the courthouse, those near the windows and the first few floors. Anyone in his path, maybe more, were all being cut down, possibly murdered by this man. I couldn't guess how far the projectiles went. For all I knew, they were going deep into the building. I don't know why I didn't try to run or hide. In hindsight, I could say maybe I just knew it would be futile. But at the time, that wasn't what I was thinking. I was scared, but more, I was angry and I just wanted to stop him. He wasn't slowing the attack at all, and I realized he was enjoying it, enjoying the power, the fear, the death. His back was still to me, and I could see a spot right between where his shoulder blades had been and wings now were. Something was there, pulsing, almost like a human heart, but it didn't look like a heart. It resembled a small jellyfish, really. I tried to think of what I could use to stop this monster. It wasn't like they equipped marketing managers with Uzis. I didn't take my eyes off of the pulsing thing on the man's back as I dug through my purse and my fingers found my weapon. My heavy, expensive Mont Blanc pen. It had been a gift from my father when I'd gotten a promotion at work. I doubted this was what he'd hoped I'd use it for, but I wasn't holding any other options. I dropped my purse, kicked off my heels, and ran straight for his back. He was moving closer to the courthouse, but was still less than 100 feet away from me, and back in school, I'd been on the track team. I was a sprinter and a hurdler, and some things don't leave you, even if you haven't done them for a while. Because he was a little taller than me, I knew I needed to be airborne when I hit him. I judged it and leaped at the last possible moment. My pen slammed into that jellyfish-like thing on his back just as he started to turn. I could see his eyes. They were wide, glowed red, and looked no longer human. As I drove the pen into his back, his mouth opened, but he didn't make a sound. His eyes, however, went back to human and glazed as I watched them die. Then his body fell forward and mine with it. I scrambled to my feet, covered with ooze from his wings and the exploded jellyfish thing.